As you are all probably aware, I love telly, and during my bi-weekly browse in various CEXs across the country, or as I like to call it, sex, I happened upon this bad boy, Merlin, a servant of two masters for Nintendo DS. That's a telly program, right? Never watched it, but that's on the telly, innit? Not much change for a $5, I may let you know, but it's worth it, right? All I know that the bloke was in some telly program I was watching, and I was like, hey, that bloke was in something. It turns out, after IMBDing him, it was bloody Merlin, and that's my extensive knowledge about Merlin. I was never interested in it myself. Gave me Raven, and not the That's So variety, merged with The Legend of Dick and Dom. Not feeling it, babes, not feeling it. Merlin, a servant of two masters, was released on the 26th of October 2012 and is based on a Series 4 episode of Merlin of the same name. The game was developed and published by Vanquest Software. Now join me as I murder Merlin. One is Pooh. All the mini games are locked, however, here's a beautiful woman for you. And options as well, just that, options. So I guess our only option is to play the game. We begin with this. Arthur and a small group of heavily armed knights ride into the forest at breakneck speed. With sweat dripping from their brows, they make their way through the forest, dodging trees. They reach two huge broken statues which mark the entrance to the Valley of the Fallen Kings. Here is Bloke 1 now. Merlin, most likely. The monotonous music is broken by the cawing of crows, and him saying, "Not serious, Arthur." Oh, here's Bloke 2 now, who I'm assuming is Arthur. Suddenly, I find myself playing a hidden object minigame. I'm overcome with a sense of dread. What have I done? What am I doing? I need to get a grip. One power's on now, and unhides the objects that were once hidden. And we're told it was indeed amazing. It seems that Arthur is spoken too soon, as from the surrounding woods, mercenaries appear in their masses. It's very soon apparent that Merlin, Arthur and his knights are outnumbered. Percival, bloody Percival, lets out a battle cry, rallying the men, and leads the counter-charge straight at the mercenaries. Here we are, one of the first of many a mini-game to enjoy, the Valley of the Kings, where one negotiates the forest to escape from the mercenaries. And let me tell you, if you enjoy Zelda, you'll love this game. An aerial view of pure negotiation from a forest. Amazing. And that dying yell is... After progressing, we're treated to a whole chunk of writing by someone who really likes saying mercenaries. Poor old Merlin is fallen like a sack of spuds, meaning King Arthur must use 20 leaves to disguise himself in Merlin within the woods. One can only imagine how that looks. A night's rest and you'll be polishing my armour. It could definitely do with a scrub. I've seen worse. I've definitely seen worse. What is all this bollocks I have to endure, may I ask? He decides to set up camp by finding some hidden objects in the forest. Forest forage. And what's this bollocks? It's like kaplunk. What does this have to do with the bloody price of J's? After that ordeal, Merlin starts being all dramatic, saying, "Leave me. Go on without me." But Arthur is having none of that. Merlin slung over our Arthur's shoulder and carried deep into the forest. To what's this? Another hidden object segment. Once we have found a sufficient amount of objects, Arthur spots a ravine and goes towards it. Merlin sees a group of, you guessed it, mercenaries. His eyes flash as he incants a spell to save his friend. Spellcaster, we help Merlin save Arthur by putting together a jigsaw. Our reward, a goofy picture, a goofy screen, and a goofy music. Oh, Arthur stares helplessly as his friend disappears from view. Survivor's guilt in it. Your mate's being carried up a steep gully. Who else but bloody Morgana is waiting to see what they've brought her? Oh, Morgana. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. Oh, she is very beautiful, if I may say. Merlin is taken away to Morgana's hovel. Oh, sounds just delightful. Upon entry, you know what that means. Hidden object section. We've apparently got a lot of catching up to do. Ain't seen you since you condemned my sister to like a slow and painful death and forced me to also live in a hovel. Merlin's actually kind of horrid. Why would he do that to someone so beautiful? He's just jealous though, making her live in a hovel. Morgana tells Merlin that he's not gonna die. She ain't gonna make it that easy. Merlin looks around her hovel nervously to play a hidden object game, of course. Merlin looks on in terrified wonder, ready for another hidden object section. I take it you've never met a Femora before? The Femora are creatures of dark magic. If you cut off their heads, you cannot kill them. Another will simply grow in its place. Blah 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 blah. They control people's minds. They will suck the life force from you, and in everything that makes you Merlin will be gone. And in its place there will be just one thought, and one thought that will grow until it's consumed you completely. One thought that will be your life's work. You will not be able to rest until it's done. And that one thought is simple. Oh my god, spit it out, bitch. You must kill Arthur Pendragon. Oh my god, all around the bloody houses to get to that bloody one. Morgana starts her incantation and arise for Mora. For Amora, I don't even know how to say this. And are we helping her? Oh yes, just a simple Nokia snake, eat your heart out. Morgana speaks.
I take it you've never met a Femora before.
And in one fluid movement slices off one of the heads. We are treated to a lovely gross sound effect, letting us know that the snake has successfully burrowed into Merlin. Meanwhile, back with Arthur's gang, some old bloke is like, where's Merlin? His fellas are told to scour every inch of the forest. Let us meet in the council chambers tomorrow to wait for news. And you know what that means? Hidden object segment. No sign of Merlin apparently. We scoured the forest. Scour it again. Arthur is like, can't get the bloody staff, I'll do it myself tomorrow. Arthur wakes up to see an unfamiliar figure at the end of his bed. He rubs his eyes, confused, and also he's fully dressed too. And there's this silly bloke who's like, I'm now your manservant. We are treated to an abrupt object find. Oh yeah, I've sharpened your sword. And then another object find. And I thought that the next on the page meant I would be able to skip it, but no, it's another page of bloody clues. Oh, I selected your clothes, sire. I'm on the edge of my seat. Will there be another bloody hidden object segment? Not yet anyway. George, sire, at your service. Arthur is having none of this very good manservant. He much prefers his shite servant, that of Merlin. And I thought that Merlin was Arthur's wizard. Just goes to show you I know nothing. George determined to serve us the best brekkie ever, as nothing would give him greater pleasure. Kinda weird, but I'm hoping for the whole shebang. Not much of a full English gal, but if I were to treat myself, croissants, pastries, or on the other hand, I'm up for a bit of black pudding, a bacon butty, and if the spirit of carnivore possesses me, perhaps a bit of liver. Anyway, look, serve him breakfast. And I'm sorry, but what the hell was that? Lettuce. Later that morning, in the main square, Arthur is readying his horse and Gwen is pleading with him. Oh, Gwen? Hello, Gwen. She's talking bollocks about him not going, and she doesn't want him to go alone. But love, he can't be stuck with that annoying twat. He needs his shite manservant. Gwen will be going with him no less. Oh, you condemn me to a day of mindless chatter. Ah, Gwen liked that one, the cheeky bitch. Says, good. Back in the bog, Merlin wakes up, hanging out his arse. I can't believe they said this in a kid's game. Merlin looks for stuff to help him freshen up. So you know what that means. Hidden object segment. Nothing freshens you up more than a cockroach and a spider though. Gwen and Arthur ride by the stream where Merlin is. Arthur, what do you see? Show me. Find Merlin. Through the forest of unrecognisable characters, I decipher of what I assume to be Merlin. Why is it's so something? There he is, declare yourself. All these faces still here. A dishevelled and muddy Merlin staggers out of the trees. Arthur steps forward and embraces our Merlin. Now in Gaius's chamber, some old twat tells Merlin not to do that again. His heart can't take the strain. And I was IMBDing this cast. This is Richard Wilson from One Foot in the Grave, you know, father of actress Rebel Wilson. That's crazy, innit? Merlin replies with, yeah, well, you are getting on a bit. What is this food? Oh, I like this bitchy Merlin. I think you should stick to cooking up potions, Gaius. This tastes like the bog Arthur found me in. Gaius be like, you still managed to eat most of it in spite of its taste. Yeah, bitch. You can't read the doll. Gaius, if he slayed, he would be like that. But he's suspicious of Merlin's behaviour. Time to find those hidden objects. Merlin then asks, what's the strongest poison you possess? Gaius the fool tells him. Merlin's like, I think I should take some with me from now on. You never know when I might need to kill someone. And to be honest, he's not wrong. I find that poison with great difficulty. And oh yes, the classic minigame, Aconite. And that was bloody hard. Merlin then makes his way to Camelot Kitchens, full of hustle and bustle. He assembles Arthur's lunch and adds a vial of blue liquid and smiles to himself thinking, ah yes, hidden object time. Merlin tries to carry the food to Arthur as Gawain bounds past him. Ah, Bogman, I have to say you're smelling better. He calls him Bogman. He calls him Bogman. Lindau man, eat your heart out. Then bloody Gawain goes to steal a piece of the poisoned chicken from the plate. Excuse me, that is food for the King of Camelot, not meant to be soiled by your filthy fingers. Let me past, and don't make me fight you. Gawain continues to jovially tease our Merlin. Oh, everyone, minigame alert, poisoned platter. Merlin finally enters Arthur's chamber, and that slag Gwen is serving Arthur food. And you know what, bitch? Hidden object time. Thank you, Guinevere, that's very kind. Oh, I might have known. Merlin's like, what's this? Look, I know you like to take every opportunity to be by his side, but this is just getting ridiculous. You'll be pouring his bathwater next. Merlin, is there something wrong? This is what's wrong. I kind of like this Merlin though, it's funny. Oh look, a weird book bit. Merlin fuming leaves Arthur's chambers. He throws the plate of food to the pigs, but he smiles when another idea comes to him. Pig. Merlin enters the armoury and is determined to make sure he has the deadliest crossbow. Therefore, one must find 15 hidden crossbows. And this bloke says, that one's ancient, wouldn't hurt a fly. And Merlin's like, if you did say want to perhaps hurt a fly, or even perchance a human, what one would you use? We find the special crossbow. Well done. Will that do the job? Oh yes, nicely. That will do the job. What is the job exactly? To kill Arthur. Why did you say that, you plonker? And then the bloke is like, oh, is he driving you mad, is he? What is going on with these people? Minigame alert, target practice, guide the arrow to the target. I can't believe this is how crossbow and arrow works, everyone. Someone guide me with a DS stylus. Merlin then decides that setting a trap in the wardrobe will be best, so we prepare the wardrobe as one does by playing a hidden objects minigame, of course. Oh, wait a minute, everyone guys. Crossbow trap minigame. Oh, it's like one of those children things. Oh, after many attempts and many tantrums thrown, I finally set up that crossbow trap. But meanwhile in the courtyard, Gwen discovers a dead pig, none less. The fucking trotters. R.I.P. pig. But I'm not going to feel too bad. Pigs are weird. Oh, the classic minigame now. Pigsty cleanup. We clean up by matching the food to the correct silhouette. Gwen takes a piece of food to Gaius and the bloke sniffs it. Aconite. Wolfsbane to you. One of the most deadliest poisons known to man. What was it doing in Arthur's food? Merlin took some earlier. He's been behaving very strangely. Don't you say? Over in Arthur's bedroom, Merlin is putting the finishing touches to the crossbow trap. And you know what that means? Where are those objects? Amazing. Now the leather-bound book. To Merlin's annoyance, the crossbow trap fails and the crossbow bolt is stuck in Arthur's bed. Boing! Let's just not forget the very important picture of Merlin. Could you get me my ceremonial sword? The ceremonial sword, of course. A wicked idea comes to Merlin. Gotta find those objects. Merlin starts to run, sword raised, about to make contact with Arthur, and Gwen and Gaius burst through the door, push Merlin to the wall and onto the floor. A force to be reckoned with. Gwen looks at Gaius and knows something is wrong with Merlin, and she's got to stop him. Desperate to find something to stop him with, she begins a hidden object segment. and a breastplate. Boobs for queens who? Oh yes, perfect. A chamber pot. She hits him over the head with the chamber pot and sees the serpent moving in the back of his neck. What is that? I have my suspicions, but I must consult my books first. Research, aka a word search.
You alright? You alright? You alright? For a while? 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 For a while?
That was certainly something. Oh, he says. Oh, I feared as much. Then goes on to describe this famous shite once again. Blah blah blah. Ate your heart out. And he needs a few things from a hidden object segment. Not another one. I'm proper sick of this game now. Gaius uses a sharp blade and cuts into the back of Merlin's neck, removes the snake and throws it into the flames. Whilst Gaius is sleeping though, Merlin looks over at a bottle of vitriol salts and a smile passes over his face as he slips the bottle into his robe. Let's find some more objects. Gaius sees the snake has returned and that bloke appears alongside the phrase, "I've got a feeling that today's going to be a good day."
Got a feeling today's gonna be a good day.
Oh, in Arthur's chambers we are now, and Merlin poised over Arthur's bath. Arthur is undressing. Oh, behind the screen. Oh, and throws his night garments over the top. Oh, Merlin looks around to check that the coast is clear and whips out the bottle, of course, which he uses a sword to mix this deadly cocktail which is now sizzling. And now for another minigame, acid bath. Stop the acid from reaching the bath. Arthur is about to enter the bath, and Gwen bursts in, followed by Gaius, again a force to be reckoned with. Merlin pulls the sword out, completely disintegrated, and Gwen whacks Merlin, and Arthur, naked, comes out from behind a screen, sees Gwen, and quickly makes himself decent. They make some lame excuse about how the bath water is very cold. Yes, very cold, and Merlin has gone to remedy it. I don't think you can have a bath today. Right, good job I'm not very dirty then. Good job indeed. Why do I have to listen to this bollocks? Again, Gaius needs to find a lotion to put the serpent to sleep, and you know what that means. Hidden object segment. He holds a rag to Merlin's nose. Merlin coughs and splutters. All he can remember is Morgana conjuring the snake. And lucky for us, he's such a bad assassin. Hey Gwen, there's only one way to get rid of it. Kill that mother beast in Morgana's hovel. But she won't recognise Merlin, not if he's 80 years old. Time to find the ingredient for the potion. Hidden object time. Merlin gulps and now has a free bus pass and says stuff like woken snowflakes. A little unaccustomed to his new self, he looks around the stables for, you already know, hidden items. We make our way through the forest with a load of bollocks from, not mercenaries however, from Camelot's very own knights, to which our Merlin incants some spell. Cue minigame, magical emeries, which is basically Sudoku. Do not disturb, genius at work bitch. My brain dead ass really did that. Pride of Britain award, Prudence, Softy, MBE when. And now it's the book thing and...
Are you threatening the life of our king? Thank you, gentlemen.
What the hell did Merlin say? Abrupt minigame. Night moves. I can't bloody do it. May I ask why it's suddenly Christmas in the forest of Camelot? Merlin successfully dispatches the remaining knights. Now who's the weak and infirm and ugly? Merlin continues onto Morgana's hovel, looking for signs if she's home, and I'm getting to be somewhat of a pro at this hidden object bollocks. The bitch ain't in, so we rummage through her shite to find the snake. Hidden object time. Amazing. Moments later, the door to the hovel opens and Morgana returns and she screams and runs off when she sees the old bloke. So he just carries on rummaging through her shite. Then she comes in and says, "Oh, this ain't real." "Yeah, that's right, I'm not real. I'll just take this jar of snake and be on my merry way." Then Morgana attacks him, casts a spell, and you know what? Mystic magic, aka snap. When you ball up your pairs of socks, that's like adult snap. Anyway, is this saying Merlin when we get a correct one? We find the jar and try and run off, and then the bitch says something. Oh, magic defense. And I can't be arsed with this one, it's too hard. The jar smashes into pieces, and Morgana's about to finish off Merlin, but he mutters a spell, and he's like floppy dorky or something. She's thrown off like a rag doll, crashes into some rocks, Merlin towers over her, reaches out to hand deliver the coup de grace. She begs to be spared, but it's all a ruse. She was trying to distract him. Merlin's hurled across the forest. And someone needs to stop these bitches throwing each other, because I can't be arsed. And oh my god, whirlwind. She's flung off and Merlin finds the remnants of the femora. And what is this bollocks now? Femora pieces. It's like a fucking preschool game that I'm on the struggle bus for. With all these pieces of femora found, Merlin builds a fire and tosses it into the flame, incants a spell to dispose of the snakes, and says some shite. And this is our final boss battle, guys. It's bloody whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole. And what a bloody uphill struggle that was. Thank God that's over. Back in Gaius's chamber now, he prepares to remove the femora for the final time. We'll have to stop meeting like this. And now Merlin has no desire to kill King Arthur. However, the same cannot be said for our Arthur, as he wants to kill Merlin, thinking he's been in the tavern for 2 days. Does he not know what his poor bastard manservant has been through? Arthur introduces Merlin to that George, who was good, the most efficient servant will be teaching Merlin for a week. Tell me something, if he's that good, why don't you just give him the job? He's seriously boring. I've never met anyone so dull. The man makes jokes about brass. Anyway, off you go, it'll be fun. And did Arthur really just say all that in front of that bloke? Because that is kind of a slay. Anyway, the end credits roll, and wow, that game was really terrible. This could be potentially the worst game I've ever played. Shovelware, final boss. I don't need to watch that episode of Merlin now. I'm thinking about it. I don't need to watch any Merlin because I really don't want to. What's the opposite of sold? Because I'm that. Anyway, if you want to play this sorry game for yourself, £5 in sex, £18 on Amazon. Apologies if you enjoyed this video till this point, but just think, I enjoyed hours of that game. Pray for me. See you in the next one, my lovelies.
Got a feeling today's gonna be a good day.
For a while. 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 You all right?